Hello and welcome back to Dino Talk. I'm your host, Bobby Dino. Today's topic is going to be on prison workouts. Now, I've been getting a bunch of different requests via email, DMs, replies to the YouTube videos, and they've all been asking me, well, what about workouts? How did you guys do that in there? So I'll drop a little bit of knowledge for you. Now, originally, there were weights. So they used to have what they called the weight pile out on the yard. And when it was yard time, you could go out there, lift weights, and get huge. And get huge people did. They were getting so big and scary that they ended up taking out the weights, I believe in 1996, because essentially these cons were getting bigger and huger than the COs or the corrections officers that were watching them. So it was kind of a way to even the playing field, if you will, right? So once they took the weights out, convicts had to find a kind of innovative way to still work out, right? So they ended up putting in calisthenic type bars to where you could do pull-ups and push-ups and dips and stuff like that. But the weights were gone, okay? So the whole reason why people would work out in there to begin with is because in a situation like that, you want to give yourself every edge possible, right? You've got these riots that are happening. It's your race against another race. And then sometimes it might even be your own race that's trying to screw you over. Who knows? So getting muscular and getting big, it wasn't something like to where you could show off, although certainly people did, but it wasn't something to where it was like, oh, look how cool my body looks and all that. It was more functionality than anything else. It was so that you would have an edge against every type of adversary or battle that you had to go through. Now, don't get it twisted. Not everybody did work out. I'd say it was about half. There were guys in there of all races who were perfectly content to just get fat, eat as much ramen as they could, and didn't really care about staying in shape. Now, the thing is that when the shit hit the fan, those guys were more or less easy targets because they weren't conditioning themselves at all. They weren't trying to make any type of change or training in their life. So they were more of an easy target than the guys that were taking care of themselves and working out. Okay. Now, a fundamental important key that you have to remember with all of this, okay, is that your nutrition, what you eat, that's half of the equation, if not more. I'm just going to say half because I want you to know that it's just as important as working out. So if you're just eating junk food and crap all the time, and then you think like you go out on the yard for a half an hour and that'll do it, you're going to not only develop a crappy body still, but you're going to feel like crap too. It's not something that's conducive to being healthy and being like in soldier shape, you know? So you have to watch the nutrition before you start any of this. Count calories if you need to, but also, you know, really think about what you're eating. One of the big things that I did while I was in there is I was about the protein. I would read articles, and I think it still holds true today, that you want to get about a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh, let's say 200 pounds, you'd want to get 200 grams of protein. And that's what I shot for. I would get tuna, I would get canned meat, I'd buy stuff from the kitchen worker guys that came back, the cooks, try and get whatever type of meat products they had, peanut butter, because I needed all that protein while I was working out, because I was hitting it like an hour to 2 hours a day. Usually I'd have like an AM or afternoon workout, and then I'd go out again at night and work out. So it was getting as much protein as you could in your diet was what you wanted to do. Now, before I talk about the calisthenics, one of the things that we did is we would take these laundry bags, which are essentially these net made bags, right? And we would go out on the yard and we'd bring dirt in. Kind of like how the movies, when you see like, I think it was Shawshank Redemption, when the guy was chipping away and making a hole in his cell, like he'd slowly bring dirt out a little bit at the time and empty it at the field. We were doing the opposite. We'd go out, we'd find rocks and dirt and whatever, and then we'd bring it in, right? And we got a big trash bag that we lined the inside of this laundry bag with, and we'd put the dirt in there. And then we'd add water to it too, so that it was just as heavy as it could get, right? And we'd either get broom handles, or we'd find some older gentleman that had a cane, and we'd pay him for the usage of it or whatnot. And we'd use that to work out. We'd do curls with it. We'd lay down on the rack. We'd do back arms with it. So those were, that was also a thing just besides purely calisthenics that we would do. Another thing we do too is, since we work out in pairs, we'd have, like, let's say we put the bag on someone's back and then they do push-ups or whatnot, or if a guy was doing dips, we'd work it to where the bag could hang from like a belt or something that we tie around, and we do dips that way. So there was all types of different ways that we'd work out with the bag as well. However, let's say you're not working out with a bag. Let's say you're not working out with any weights, anything like that. Calisthenics are cool. You could do a lot with them and do a lot with your own body weight to totally change the way you look and develop your body. What I did, and it changed my body, I think, more than anything initially, pull-ups. So when I first went out to the yard and started doing pull-ups, we do them in the forward grip, the reverse grip, right? When I first started doing that, I could only do a couple. I ain't gonna lie. I could only do a couple. I'd have a partner out there with me, and when I started struggling with the third and the fourth, he'd kind of spot me by my ribs to help me get the last couple in, right? But the thing is consistency. So the first week, I could only do a couple. I'd take the weekends off. And then when I come back the next week, all of a sudden I could do 4. And then like a couple weeks go by, now I can do 7 or 8, right? I got up to the point at 240 pounds to where I could do 22 of them in a row. And not, the kicking your legs, jerking yourself trying to get up. I'm talking about a dead hang, about shoulder or a little bit wider grip, and just coming up and doing them, right? So it's totally possible. It's not something that's beyond you. You just have to get out there and go for it, right? So a steady pull-up routine is going to create that V in your body. It's going to give you those lats. It's going to work some shoulders, some arms. It's going to work a bunch of stuff. It'll even work the core, especially if you're keeping your legs straight and you're not kicking them. So it definitely something worth pursuing and starting with. I recommend pull-ups. Definitely should be a part of anybody's routine. Now I know a lot of people are kind of mixed on push-ups, but I think push-ups were good too. So the way that I do them was I would put my feet up on something. Let's say if I was in the house, I'd put them up on the rack, or if near a chair or whichever, however you're going to work out, just elevate your feet, get them off the ground. It's going to hit areas a little bit differently, and that's going to give you some shoulders, some chest, back arms. It works as well. And with all these exercises, you want to do them to failure. Now, what that means to failure is that you keep going and going until you just can't go anymore. You just, that's it. You burn your muscles out and you do as many as you can. So you want to do these to failure for maximum growth, right? So pull up, my opinion, one of the best exercises, calisthenic around, and that's what I'm going to be talking about here is calisthenics. You get results. It's something that you're just, in my opinion too, your back, your lats, that stays with you. I mean, that's something that to where even if you take some time off or whatnot, you're still going to have those lats. Like those really stick around. Now, like we were talking about a minute ago, the two main exercises you're going through are pushing and pulling, right? So push-ups, again, great way to do it. I also knew, I did it too, but I knew guys, they'd do handstands on the wall and then push up, you build shoulders and stuff. So that gets you going right there and will bring out your chest and shoulders to where you're going to start noticing results. Another one, dips. I can't say enough about dips. Dips are another one to where you don't want to be kicking your legs or doing whatever. You want to have your bottom half more or less like dead weight, right? Like you can't move them. Dips will build your back arms gnarly. They'll also build your chest too, depending on how much of an angle you're getting while you're doing them. They'll build all that area. So I totally recommend dips. Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, sit-ups. Sit-ups are another thing. You want to work that core. We would do sit-ups, and we would also do leg lifts. So you're laying down, your legs out in front of you, and you can lift your legs repeatedly, right? And one of the things we used to have too is whoever we were working out with, when your legs would come up, the guy would push them back down, and he'd push them back down, so it was creating like this friction, because you'd have to stop your legs from hitting the ground. So you're using those muscles to, they're basically tensed the whole time. So you got the sit-ups, the leg lifts, and you can't neglect the bottom part of your body. So we would also do squats. We do lunges, which essentially a lunge is like you step out and then you come back up and then you step out, and it's like bending your legs. So your front leg is making that deal like this, right? Excuse the finger, but the front leg goes like this and your back leg is, down like that, and then you come up. So squats, lunges. We also, we jog too. You don't need to do that. That wasn't something we did all the time. It was something that personally, like I knew guys that would run every day. That wasn't me. I'd run a couple times a week, and it was usually only for a mile or two. For me, it was more of a stamina thing than anything else. The thing that we used to do that I think is more beneficial, especially for fast twitch muscles, is wind sprints. So you start off at a certain area, right? And let's say you've got something about 40, 50 yards out, like that's your finish line, right? And when you go, or when you start, you just full on, fast as you can run, just run to that finish line and then stop. Give yourself a break, a little rest or whatever, and then you run back, boom. And it's not like, oh, I'm just jogging, do. No, this is like you are full on sprinting, like you're trying to run as fast as you can. Wind sprints were great. Now, here's another controversial one, okay? And this is one that I've heard people talk crap on. I know they're not a fan of. Burpees. Now, burpees were a big thing in there. If you don't know what a burpee is, essentially from a standing position, you drop down, you do a push-up, you get back up. Guys would either raise their hands or whatever and then hit their stomach and get back down, push up. Sometimes it would involve getting down and doing 3 push-ups and then getting up, hitting your stomach, getting down. There were variations, but essentially it's just one of those things to where you're just, you're burning a lot of calories, you're sweating a lot. The first time I did 100 burpees in a row, I threw up afterwards. It was not a pleasant experience. It's not as easy as it sounds by far. And I know people that think they're useless, and maybe they're right. I don't know. I think I think more or less it's something to where you're able to test your stamina, your mettle, and it gets the juices flowing. I mean, you're really sweating after those. It's something that is a workout for sure. So when you're starting, right, let's say you've never done it before, I'd start it like 3 or 4 days a week. Okay. Your workouts don't need to be much longer than a half an hour if you're really getting after it. If you're working out with a partner, it shouldn't be much more than an hour. You want to rest about 60 seconds or so in between each set, so that you're getting after it. You don't want to be taking too long a rest in between sets. You want to keep that body going. And after you're able to, once you feel more comfortable with your routines and whatnot, bump it up. Go to 5 days a week, and really get after it. You can even work out twice a day, if depending on what your job is or how it is. You can get up before work and work out. And you can work out in the evening. I like to work out in the evenings as well, because it was something that was essentially, I was bringing up my metabolism, and then I'd be burning calories as I slept, or my metabolism would still be high as I was sleeping. So something to think about, you know. And then if you're able to add weights, cool. But if a gym membership is out of the question, or maybe you don't feel comfortable going to a gym, you don't need it. I got huge without a gym, and other guys were getting huge too. So it's something that you could do, and something definitely worth going for. You want to be healthy. You want to be male or female. You want your body to be in shape. So get on it, work out. And before I go, I want to mention that this week, actually yesterday, we just went live with The Outfit. The Outfit is a group that contains a bunch of professionals, a bunch of guys that are high caliber in their field. I'm not going to drop any names, even though they'd be names you know, because it's on them to say whether they're in the outfit or not. But I've got actors, I've got former professional athletes, I have businessmen. There's all types. Security. I don't know. Now I'm drawing a blank. But there's all types of people in there: engineers, investors, real estate magnates. I mean, the list goes on. And it's a way for you to, whether you're just starting out or if you've been in the game for a while and you've just got that abundance mindset, which everybody should, to up your game. So weekly live Zoom meetings. We do Zoom meetings once a week, to where we're all able to talk and discuss and kind of strategize what our next step should be. There's exclusive curriculum developed just for the group. There's going to be live events, which are going to be cool, and they'll be group only. And the best part on top of all this is you get to be in this community of like-minded people who are all going for the same type of goal. So check it out. It's called The Outfit. The link will be in the bio. Please click on it and see what it's all about. So thanks for joining. I'm Bobby Dino, and until next time, stay safe out there.